Alrighty, we are back. What I'm probably gonna do though is after the free three ends, I'm probably not gonna stream this on YouTube. I'm probably just gonna only do it on Twitch. So that way we can get everybody over to the Twitch. I think that might be the smart thing. So, well, guys, I'm just figuring it out. Trying to figure out all these different softwares, all these different content, man. Just trying to get it all together, guys. So give me 1 second so I can get this video over to my team, and then we'll take a look at the college basketball slate a little bit longer, and let's see what else is out there for us. All right, guys. All right. Let's dive into the board here. And I know people like normally play their music in the background and shit too. Let me try that too. Let me get some like Spotify bumping, so that way we can keep it a little bit more chill. Let's see, who should we listen to today? You know what? I want to listen to some like, some old school 2 Chainz. Y'all don't know about no 2 Chainz. Let's go to 2 Chainz. Let's go to 2 Chainz Radio. 2 Chainz Radio. All right. I got some 2 Chainz Radio on, bumping. Hopefully it's not too loud in the background. Trying to see, maybe, hopefully you guys can hear it, but it's not too loud. All right, let's share my screen real quick. All right, let's relax a little bit. And let's see what we got here on the board, guys. All right, I'm going to talk about college basketball a little bit. I have the chat pulled up, so if you guys have anything in the chat you want me to talk about, hold on. Ooh, wee. Think something happened to my camera. What the fuck? There we go. There we go. There we go. I don't know what just happened. All right. Like I mentioned, we're gonna go through the cut. We're gonna go through the slate here. I'm gonna give you guys my leans, the plays that I might add to my personal card that didn't make the free three card. Oh my goodness. And then we'll talk any questions. Let me get the chat pulled up. All right, I got the chat pulled up. So if you guys are on the Twitch or on the YouTube, I've got the chat pulled up so I can see what you guys are talking about here. And then we'll just talk some ball for about 20-30 minutes, maybe go to about 10 or so. So let's look at the slate, guys. My alma mater, Chattanooga, is taking on UNCG Greensboro. I lean UNCG plus the 4 here. I think we're getting value because UTC's at home. They're a little bit overrated. Tan McGrath has UTC -2. I can't say I agree with that. I do still watch a lot of Chattanooga basketball just because I'm just one of those fans. It's just my school that I went to. So you can see here, KenPom has this as a 1-point win for Chattanooga. I'm not opposed to that. I do think Chattanooga can win the game and win the game outright, but winning the game by 4 points in conference is a little tough, considering that UNCG is one of the teams that's really expected to win this conference. So let's look real quickly here. We got Samford projected at 13-5, and got UNCG right there at 13-5 in conference as well projected. So the fact that they started off in conference 2-0 is key. And they picked up a tough road win at Wofford. Wofford's not a bad team. We were on them yesterday against Western Carolina. They started off a little bit slow, but they were able to pick it up. So for me, I think that the fact that they have a conference away game underneath their belt, they beat a very good Furman team at home, which is truthfully the other only competitor in this conference besides Samford. You win this game and then you go on the road to Samford, which I think is the letdown spot right there. That to me is the game that matters. It's a tough spot, man. It's a tough spot for Chattanooga. +4 is just a lot to lay, in all honesty. I would just at -108. I would really take this up to +4.5, and now you're at past the 2 free throw line at -115, -120. I like that a lot. So I think UNCG is a really good look today. I would do them at like 4.5, and then your book would probably have that. Let's just say at -120. Um, I'll lock that in for a unit here on the stream. I like that a lot. All right, let's keep going here. We got some early ball with Arkansas, Little Rock, and Morehead State. I really don't have a read on either one of these teams, if I'm being honest. We could see what KenPom has for it. So I can show you guys a little bit more into like my research process on how I like research some of these teams that I'm unfamiliar with, like Morehead State and Little Rock. I first look here at their KenPom number. So 304 just lets you know they're bottom 50 in all of college basketball. That's not something that I really am a fan of. Little Rock 223, a little bit better. Looking at their schedule so far, pretty weak strength of schedule. Nothing in the top one. No top 200 wins. I mean, you know that this is just a game I would truthfully just stay away from. Projected to finish third, and they're taking on. Who are they taking on? Morehead State. Little Rock. Okay, so they're projected to finish. This doesn't make sense. How they projected, but they're down here. That doesn't make sense. That looks weird. Yeah, I would just stay off this game if I'm being honest. But if I would do a little bit more research, like what normally I do, is I will just go to like, I would just go to like Morehead State versus Little Rock, and then there are like some articles that people have like online where you could like read a little bit more about like what they like, a little just more about like stats that can just draw your attention to certain things, right? And then sometimes what I even do is like I look this is what I do sometimes too. So like I'll copy all of this shit into like ChatGPT. So like I'll do like this, and then I'll go to like another source. So like we got that one, and then like let's just say this one. So they gave us some insight here. So like I'll just like copy and paste all this right here. What's up, Just K? Detroit Mercy boys. I will break that game down here in a second. I'm not a big fan of Detroit Mercy though, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'll break down Detroit Mercy boys. So look, I put all this information inside ChatGPT, right? And then I'll say something like, give me analysis based on this information. Highlight the pros and cons for each team, right? I do something like that sometimes, like, and then like it will start breaking it down a little bit more, and then from there like you can be able to like get a little bit more information about like who's playing, who's doing what. So now I don't have to read all this information. This is just like cranked it out, right? And then so that's just something I do sometimes to help me like get just a lot more information. They got Little Rock winning, which is something I would not be opposed to just because they're at home. This would be more of a money line lay piece for me, but I'm not touching that game. So let's go Purdue Rutgers. Dylan Harper's back. I lean Rutgers. It's the play, and that's just because I've been getting killed on favorites this week. Road favorites. I've been getting killed on them. And my favorite reads have been off a little bit this week, if I'm being honest. So that's just me doubting myself a little bit. But the situational spot says take Rutgers. The better team is Purdue, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, the better team is Purdue, but Rutgers is one of those teams, like, if they're hot, if Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper's hooping, they shouldn't lose. But the way games have been going this week, especially with these type of games, I would just wait for it live. You should be able to get Purdue at like freaking plus 7.5. Like that's how I hedged UConn money line yesterday. I took them at plus 290 on the money line at like for like a quarter of a unit, and then I also took them at plus like 8.5 to cover what I would have lost on the individual bet. So that's like I broke even on UConn doing that, right? But like that's just how some of these games this week have been going. So let me see. Where's Detroit Mercy? Let me see where they're at. Happy Ball State, guys. Happy Ball State stack. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, team? Come back. All right, Detroit Mercy, man. 6-11 on the year. I would say I'm not a big fan of Detroit Mercy, man, if I'm being honest. But they have been great against the number. 12-4, 8-1 on the road. I like that. 2-3 at home for IUIN. Okay, okay. Let's look at some of the recent games. Milwaukee 9.5. They covered. So they've covered 5 straight. Let me see how many games in a row they've covered. One, two, three, four, 5. Okay, so they covered 5 straight. They didn't cover against Davidson. They didn't cover against Wright State. Wright State's good though. I had bet on them against this FPFW. I actually had IPFW in a money line parlay this day. So this was a sweaty. That was a sweaty one right there. Eastern Michigan. Yeah, I mean, just from a trend standpoint, just from a trend standpoint, I like Detroit Mercy here. Let me go to KenPom. Let's see what he has it at, because what's the spread? 7-4. Has as a 1-point loss for them. IU, Indy, oh, they're even ranked lower. Oh yeah, 1-5 in conference. You're giving me 5 points. That's one of them fishy ass lines. Like, why are you giving me so many points? But that might be like that Miami, like this. There ain't no handicap in this. You just don't care. You just don't care. I like that. So let's do them. +5. Man, I would take the money line. No cap. Let's plus. I can get a +5. I'm not opposed to that. -115. I like that. And the reason why I say I like that, it's not just. I'm not just seeing 5-6 losses in a row and just saying, or 7 losses in a row and saying I like that. I'm saying that because this is a team. Detroit Mercy, that struggles to score. But when your defense can keep you in games, 238's not bad for Horizon League team. So keep in mind, like that's that like, what the fuck, webcam. I switched up my setup today to try to get it like, cause I have an Ethernet cable now plugged in to see if that should like help the stream quality. But now it's causing. All right, give me 1 second with the webcam, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, let's see if that works. Give me a second here. All right, bet we should be Gucci now because I moved it into a different spot. So it should, like, I think the cord kept getting hit. All right. So what I was mentioning is you have a rough offense, but their defense can keep them in games because 238's not bad for a caliber team, like a Horizon League team, right? And another thing that's good is that they don't give up a lot of 3-pointers, right? But they can still shoot the 3-point ball well. So if you can shoot the 3-point ball well and you offensive rebound, that shows a level of effort. And the fact that you're 360 defensively shows that you don't really give a damn about any effort because you're not playing defense. 344. And then the fact is, when you've lost to Lindenwood, you've lost to Eastern Michigan, like these are bad teams. I mean, barely beating Alabama A&M, and that's one of the worst teams in all of college basketball. So I like Detroit Mercy. I like the fact that we are getting some points here with them, and they've shown the fact that they've been able to win some gritty games. They're 2-4 in conference. This is a big win here against Purdue Fort Wayne. Yeah, I like Detroit Mercy, man. I like Detroit Mercy. That's a good find. That's a good find. So let's go back to action real quick. Let's put a unit aside for them at +5.5. I like that. Let's do that. Let's lock that in. I'm staying off Rutgers and Purdue if you're just tapping in. That's a live game. I lean Vermont here against UMass Lowell, but Vermont's been struggling heavily this year. They've been struggling heavily. This is one of those games that if my confidence wasn't a little shaken right now, family, I would smash this as Oregon +3. Oregon +3. And the reason why I say that is this week has been a little bit fishy with some of these road teams. But one thing that I have been seeing is Ohio State, man. They're just like, see, everybody's on Ohio State. Like, Ohio State's not a good team, bro. They're not a good team. Let's see what they say here on Action. I like to read some of their articles. What do they have? Oregon +3. All right, I'm a non-believer in Ohio State. Me too. However, the Buckeyes have benefited from some lucky shooting variance. 37% three-point shooting, 28% two-point shooting. And then I bet on Kentucky in this game. And that's the thing. Kentucky 4 for 22 in that game. And that's the reason why they lost. And like my boy Just K just said, Ohio State went to double overtime and won. Like this screams letdown spot. Like it screams letdown spot. Like double overtime on the road, tough place to play in Minnesota. You come back, and they got smacked by Michigan State. Like they were favored in this game, and they were down double digits in this game. And I was on Michigan State in the game at plus value, right? So it's a tough loss to Illinois here. We were on Oregon there, but we're seeing this Illinois team is legit. Good win against Maryland. That was a hard-fought win. This 46 range defense is what I really like. 22nd on offensive efficiency. This was a tough loss to them against UCLA. So I'm just not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm just not drinking the Ohio State Kool-Aid. And I like what they say here, right? When the shooting variance flips the other way, things get ugly. So, for example, blowout losses to Maryland and Auburn in which the offense couldn't break 60 points and the defense allowed over 80 points. The Ducks have been dominant. Let's see. Oregon's been a lead against the dribble. 0.6 PPP allowed. That's points per possession. That's 83rd percentile. And I'm weary of Ohio State's mid-range shooting. 30%, 20 percentile. Let's continue to catch and shoot regression. Yeah, for me, this is maybe like another live trigger game. But it's just I don't like to bet the other side. The line says 2.5, and I like if you're one of those people who bet lines and not teams, then the play is -2.5 Ohio State. But for me, this is like the Florida State play yesterday in Miami. It's like which team is better. This is like UConn and Villanova. If it wasn't for missed free throws, UConn wins that game. So I like Oregon. I like Oregon here. Ohio State's definitely a crab play. Yeah, it's definitely one of those like I'm reading the line. It's short. It doesn't make sense. It's fixed. It's just one of those lines, and I'm not opposed to it. But this is what I'm gonna do. Why don't we just let's put maybe Oregon in a money line lay like with a little lotto. And this is one thing that I've been thinking about too over the last few nights. some of the money line lays that I've been doing, especially the lottos, I'm taking different teams than I'm taking individually because I don't want to double down on my exposure. But the problem is it's giving me more games, and I don't like betting 9, 10, 12 games a night. It's just too much variance. I like betting 3, 4, 5 plays, but when I'm doing 3 or 4 plays on the stream, 2 more extra plays, and then a lotto, a hardwood haymaker with 6 teams or 5 teams that's not even in there, that's now like 11 games that I really need to hit. So that's one adjustment that I think I'm going to make. Where I'm like still taking some of the favorites that I like and mixing them in. All right, let's see here. Let's see what else here is on the board. I don't know if that makes sense. That's the thing about stream. I just feel like I would just be out here chatting. I guess that's the point of stream, right? But I'm still getting used to this, guys. All right. Stony Brook is god awful. Appreciate you, fam. It makes sense. It makes sense. All right. Stony Brook is god awful. This is one that I would probably put Drexel in a money line lay with. Exactly. Definitely hard to hit 12 games compared to 3. And truthfully, man, the craziest streak that I've ever gone sports betting, the most money I've ever made betting, came when I was taking 1 play a day, 2 plays max. Like, it's boring. It's not fun. You're literally hunting for. It's like hunting for buried treasure. But it's like out of all 10,000 lines, all these lines are here. There's just one winner. And like when you do that, and I was martingaling it as well. I'll talk about that method on stream one day. How I was able to like run it up crazy doing martingale, just 1 bet a day. If it hit, I would. If it missed, I would double down, and like if it missed, I would triple down. And it worked. It worked because I was always betting like the next one would win, and I never. Yeah, it worked. It's crazy, but. All right, let's look at Drexel, 189th on KenPom. Stony Brook is 332. Stony Brook struggles. They struggle real bad. You can see here, even though they're home in this matchup, I mean, there's nothing here that gives you confidence in taking the Stony Brook team. They're 4-11th, and again, we're fading this bottom 20 defense, bottom 5 in effective field goal percentage. And then to know you can't even stop. It's one thing to not stop the 3-point line. If you're not stopping the 2-point line, that means you just giving up layups. And you're not blocking shots. So that means your interior is cooked. Well, guess what Drexel does strong? 93rd in 2-point percentage. Drexel is a nice play here. They're a money line lay type of team. So this is what I'm going to do real quick. I need to go to... Okay, Cindy said I need to hear that. I'm gonna I'll tell you about that legendary run. I'll do that on stream one day. Maybe tomorrow I can talk about that on stream. And truthfully, I'm getting back to it. I'm actually working on some content right now that's gonna be along the lines of like showing y'all how I was able to do that, man. But long story short, I was able to use that method to turn 500 into 20K in 60 days, in 2 months. Hell yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna use this as a tracker, so I'm not like loading up that shit crazy. All right. Minus 270. I got Drexel minus 270 on the money line. They're going to be one of our first plus 100 legs. Bellarmine is another team that's terrible. 3-12 on the year. See, on days like today, this is where you really can find the teams to fade. Like days like yesterday and Tuesday are days where you're like, which is the better team, right? Like, oh, okay, what's the shorter line? What makes sense? Because you're biting a lot of the marquee matchups. But today is like, damn, this team has one win. Like Bellarmine, this is a team that's bottom 5 defensively, and they're facing a Jacksonville team that's 169th defensively, 1-1 in conference, right? Like, it's a good spot for them to be able to pick up a strong win. They turn over the ball a lot. That's a little bit concerning. But wins against Virginia Tech on the road. East Tennessee ETSU is a good mid-major. Lost by 5 points to Lipscomb. Not another strong team. Have played Furman in Florida, so they're battle tested. So this is a team right here. What are we at on the money line? This is minus 340. Let me just throw this up here. So that's what, Jacksonville minus 340. I'm just trying to keep up with the teams that we like right now. And then we'll get to crafting. Hell yeah, yeah, yeah. Messing with the college football game for sure. I just did the stream on the free 3 on that. If you missed that, bro, the pics are right here. The full video is about to drop on the YouTube in like an hour. My team's working on it right now. But I took the under, I took the teaser, and then I'm taking Leonard's rush attempts. Leonard's rush attempts. All right, so we got your Detroit in there. We've got we're gonna take Jacksonville on the money line. We need one more leg, y'all. We need one more leg because that's not gonna get us to plus 100. All right, this is one of those games where I really like UNC Wilmington. I really like Monmouth is terrible, but let's keep going through the slate here real quick. See, we got a lot of short lines. I'm avoiding these short lines in these mid-major games just because there's no need to play with it. No need to play with it. Wright State should cover this 3 points against Oakland. Oakland has struggled this year. They lost a lot of guys in the transfer portal. I know they took everybody by storm last year with the guy who hit all the 3-pointers, Jack, but they've struggled this year. And you can see KenPom has this as a 4-point win for Wright State. They're 2-3 in conference, so this would get them back to 500. They're at home here. This is a good spot for them. This is a good spot for them. It's a good spot. It's a short line at 3, and that's under a bucket. So I would really take Wright State at 2.5. That's a lean that I can get down with. Hold on, I'm trying to find the chat. Okay. Yeah, Jack, that dude was nasty. That dude was nasty. Facts. Facts. And then they lost him, and they lost their other leading scorer. He transferred to somebody that we took this week. I want to say he transferred to somebody that we took this week. One of the games on Tuesday. He's on one of those Power 5 teams now. So I'm going to put Wright State minus 2.5 on the log. This lay is currently not active. We're crafting one. We're crafting one with these 2 legs. So we got Drexel. We've got Jacksonville. And then we are currently trying to figure out what 3rd leg is going to go in there. We locked in Detroit Mercy at plus 5. It might be UMBNC. It might be UMBC. That might be the 3rd leg, y'all. I don't know if that'll get us to plus 100 though. I hate NJIT. They suck. They're so god awful. But the problem is UMBC, their defense is not as. I like MTSU, Middle Tennessee today. Grand Canyon, this line is a little short. Utah Valley's good. Michigan State, that's just way too big of a line. I can't lay that. I think Washington covers though. I think Washington covers the 13.5. Queens is another fade, but the line's too long. I lean South Alabama here. Tarleton State, they've had a lot of issues. Their coach like got sick or something last year. He used to coach at Texas Tech, and then ever since then they've kind of fallen apart. UC Davis. Let me see where Cal State Fullerton ranks. Cal State Fullerton. There's a game that you guys want me to break down. I'm just trying to craft this one last leg. 326 for Cal Fullerton. Bottom 50 defense. Bottom 30 offense. Can't score for shit. UC Davis, their strength is their defense, despite the fact their offense is not the best. Back-to-back road losses. Now you come home 2-2 in conference. It's a good bounce back spot. It's a good bounce back spot. UC Davis. Minus 355. All right. Let's craft this real quick. Let's see what that gets us to. UC Davis. That's fine. We got to get a win. I'm not worried about time slots today. Just get a win. See the ball go through the net. Jacksonville. Drexel. Plus 135. UC Davis. Y'all not, y'all. UC Davis. Jacksonville. Drexel. We have one home team, which is a spot here, and we've got two fades on weak offenses on the road. That gets us to plus 135. You can do another one with UNC Wilmington as the base. I do think they win today against Monmouth. Townsend should win today against Northeastern. Wright State should win. That's one of our individual picks. UMBC should win. I want to see FIU. This Louisiana Tech FAU. I'm trying to find the chat because I keep finding it. Alright. No line, it needs to stay true. I'm trying to see if this thing's still going. I don't even know if this thing is still streaming. I don't see the numbers on my board like I usually do. Alright, fuck it. 135 for Louisiana Tech. Back-to-back road losses. Now you come back home. It's a tough situational spot for FIU. They struggle offensively. Bad loss to Rice. No real step-up games. They didn't play FAU. Yeah, I like Louisiana Tech too. Alright, so why don't we do this? Because that game's at 9. Damn, we got a lot of late games on. Alright, I'm going to go plus 135 here. And then I'm going to do one more with Louisiana Tech, MT. Let me take a look at Townsend real quick. Like New Hampshire doesn't even have a D1 win today. I mean D1 win this year. All right, let me see. I'll just put that in there because I want to see. See, you could really go Drexel, swap Albany for UC Davis, and then UC Davis for here. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do on my book. All right. I think that's everything on the slate. I mean, in terms of other individual picks, if there's a game you guys want me to break down, I can. But I think we cooked up a lot on the college basketball slate. I think we cooked up a lot. If I'm being honest with you, what do you guys think? I don't even know if this thing is still streaming. If I'm being honest, let me go to Twitch and see. Oh yeah, it's still streaming. All right, cool.